morning. I'm Lois with Aussie Lozzie Knit Designs. We are going to be taking a look at how to do an alternating cable cast on. This is a stretchy cast on method, and I think that it's really simple. I love the way that it looks when it's on, and it's one that I use really pretty frequently. So I'm going to switch to my hands and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first I have already done a alternating cable cast on and knit a couple rows just to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to hold it up close. Here we go. So you can see that the stitches go all the way down to the end, and so it kind of looks like you're just knitting from nothing. So that's one of the things I like about the cast on. It's also a firm cast on edge, which I like because it doesn't ever lose its shape. And the third thing that I like about it is it gives you this nice knitting from the ground up look without a lot of steps. Okay, and that's a big deal because a lot of the other processes that allow you to have an edge that kind of looks like this are going to be, multi-row or round steps to get that look. And this is just one cast on real quick and easy, and I'm going to show you that. So first, I've got my yarn, of course, and I've got a couple of knitting needles. And so for the alternating cable cast on method, what's really nice is that you don't have to measure a long tail. That's also a nice thing because I know sometimes measuring a long tail can be stressful. But you do want to have, of course, a short tail so that you can wave in your ends at the end. So you just make a short tail and make your slip knot. Okay, then we're actually going to place our slip knot on our left hand knitting needle. And if you've done the knit cast on method, then this one is going to seem really familiar, at least at the beginning, and then we'll start mixing it up a little. But so to begin with that slip knot, we're just going to do the same thing as we would in the knit cast on. We're going to insert our right hand needle through the slip knot knitwise. So let's do that. We'll just insert it if I can knitwise. There we go. My slip knot's too tight, guys. I don't like that. Okay, there we go. Let's slip that in. All right, there we go. I like to hold my short end tail out of the way. All right, so once you've inserted that knitwise, you're going to go ahead and wrap the yarn around the right hand knitting needle as if to knit. Pull that through, right? Oh, and I'm making a mess. I'll try that again. Pull that through. There we go. And then when you come to the edge, if you remember the knit cast on or if you haven't done it before, what you want to do is take your left hand knitting needle, point it towards the thumb of your right hand, and scoop that stitch up. That creates a little bit of a twist, which will give it that look of the knit look. Okay, so now that we have 2 stitches on our needle, we're going to start doing the alternating, and we're also going to never insert into a stitch again. Okay, so we're done at doing that. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take our right hand needle and moving from the back towards the front, we're going to insert it between those 2 stitches. Okay, so once you have that in place, you're going to wrap your yarn around counterclockwise, right? And then we're going to pull that stitch through to the back. And then the same thing, we're going to angle our left hand knitting needle towards our thumb and scoop up that stitch and place, oops, and drop it. That was all part of the plan. Anyway, and then place it on our knitting needle. Okay, so now I just want to take a quick moment to show you what this is looking like because this is important. Get real close. Let's get real close here. Okay, so as you can see, my working yarn is at the front of my work now. And you can see, if we can look really, really close. There. I don't know if you can see that. It's really tiny. It's kind of hard to see. But it looks like a knit stitch. Okay? It looks like a knit stitch, the one that we inserted knitwise. So that's exactly what we want. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our right-hand knitting needle. We're going to insert it between the 2 stitches that are closest to the needle point from front to back. So the opposite, right? Oops. Sorry, you want the yarn underneath. And then we're going to wrap it like we would to knit, pull it through, scoop that up, twisting the yarn, and now our yarn is falling towards the back. So I bring this up for a couple of reasons. First, because if you are doing this cast on method and you ever get lost, I'm having trouble getting between. If you ever get lost, then you can always look at which way your working yarn is falling. If it's falling towards the front, then you need to insert towards the back. If it's falling towards the back, then you need to insert towards the front. Does that make sense? So the opposite way of where it's falling. The second reason I mentioned this, I forgot. So we'll just move on. Oops, I dropped a knitting needle. Thank God for edits, guys. This is so funny. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and keep alternating, inserting from the front to the back and then the back to the front. So while I do that, I'm going to give you a couple more tips if you're going to work this cast on. So one thing that's really handy to do, because if you've noticed, I keep tightening too much and it's driving me crazy. You don't have to tighten that. And in fact, when I'm doing this in real speed, what I normally do, I don't until I insert my needle and then I'll tighten it and then I'll wrap and then do the next one. Okay, so I just kind of don't even tighten it all the way to make that process, easier. But you just do that. You just alternate front and back, front and back, front and back. So another thing that's really cool about this cast on edge is that if you make a mistake, which I clearly just did, you can see it very clearly. Look at this. This is a mess. I can see that this one was on track, so I just am going to drop the stitches to that point. Okay, and now this is exactly what I was saying before. So see how my yarn is falling naturally to the back? Then that alerts me that what I need to do is insert my needle from the back to the front and do that stitch that way. And then boom, I'm ready to go. It's beautiful. So there is the alternating cable cast on method. You can use this also to do like more than just 1x1 rib. So let's say you wanted to do, I don't know, 2x2. Sorry, it's really not that complicated. Then you could do like 1, 2 to the back, and then 2 to the front. And whatever your cable is going to be, then that is exactly how many, like if you were doing 2-on-1 or whatever, then that's how many times you would move from the back to the front or from the front to the back to get your stitches cast on there. And so anyway, that is the alternating cable cast on. It is a part of the stretchy cast ons. It makes a beautiful cast on, and I highly recommend it. It's really not hard to do. You think it may seem more complicated, but it isn't. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, would you please hit like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye.